Yes, today's video is in a bathroom. Deal with it. There's nothing I can do. We're on the road. This is the only place I can record because my family is sleeping on the other side in the hotel room. This is what you guys are gonna get. I actually don't think this is a terrible looking bathroom. I mean, it has nice little flowers and like the wall is a weird wallpaper, and I mean, it's look at this. Look at this design that they've given me with the towels. How do they fold them like these? I don't understand this. This is gorgeous. Okay, anyways, getting to the matter at hand, we are going to be talking about a company getting into the ASIC mining game that you probably wouldn't expect. No, it is not Samsung. We've already reported on that. No, it is not AMD. They're probably just going to keep making GPUs. It's the one company that you're least expecting, and it's probably not least expecting because that would be like, I don't know, like Mojang getting into building ASICs or something like that. No, it's Intel. We're talking about Intel making ASICs. Gonna be discussing an article from Tech Power Up saying Intel Bitcoin mining hardware accelerator patent filing has been published. Patent filling is what they said. I'm sure they meant filing because it's filling. So the article reads, a filed patent by Intel has shed some light on the company's idea to somewhere along the fuzzy lines of the future introduce a Bitcoin mining hardware accelerator to the market. The application itself was for a Bitcoin mining hardware accelerator with optimized message digest and message scheduler data path. And it was originally submitted in September 2016, so it's not exactly something that came out recently. If we look at the US Patent and Trademark Office, the application, we see that it was apparently issued on March 29th of this year, so a few days ago. And then, it was originally filed September 23rd, 2016 on behalf of the Intel Corporation. And if we just look the claims, the first claims, a lot of it is technical speak, but this gives us a good idea of what they're trying to develop. So the first claim on the actual patent application says a system on chip SoC comprising a processor core and a hardware accelerator coupled to the processor core. The hardware accelerator to mine digital currencies, the hardware accelerator comprising a first computational block comprising a message digest data path, wherein the first computational block is to pre-compute a first summation of a 32-bit message, a 32-bit round constant, and a content of a first shifted state register, and a store of result for the first summation in a state register, and a second computational block comprising a message schedule or data path. I couldn't read that in a straight voice anymore. That's just too much. It's too much. If you read further down into the patent, we find out that Intel is intending to create a chip that not only can mine Bitcoin, but mines Bitcoin more efficiently than any of the miners on the market before. Because if there's somebody who's going to be producing a chip that can do things efficiently, it's probably going to be Intel. For all of the crap that we have ever given them for, you know, the Skylake to then KB Lake to then Coffee Lake, one of the things that's apparent is that they have focused on revising and bringing better efficiency to each of the new architectures that they've released, even if we're not getting more powerful hardware. And this is something that Intel actually promoted. I think it was 2 years ago, they officially announced that their tick-tock cycle is basically dead. They're not going to be following that anymore. Instead, they're going to be focusing on efficiency. Instead of bringing higher powered CPUs to everybody, they're going to be bringing more efficient CPUs to everybody. And that's something that Intel has been really specializing in lately. And it appears that this is something that they're also going to be doing with the Bitcoin market, where they have both the processor core and the hardware accelerator to help mine Bitcoin. So they quote in the patent application itself, because the software and hardware utilized in Bitcoin mining uses brute force to repeatedly and endlessly perform SHA-256 functions, the process of Bitcoin mining can be very power intensive, no kidding, and utilize large amounts of hardware space. Genius. The embodiments described herein optimize Bitcoin mining operations by reducing the space utilized and power consumed by Bitcoin mining hardware. So in the filing itself, Intel expects its Bitcoin mining accelerator tech would be able to cut power usage by as much as 35% and could be added to ASICs, SoCs, CPUs, and FPGAs as well. This is something that has been in the discussion when it comes to cryptocurrencies, and Intel apparently is addressing, is that the power consumption that's needed in order to run the ASICs, in order to run all of the GPUs to actually mine with, we're consuming a butt ton of power and not really producing a whole heck of a lot in return for that. Sure, we get some crypto coin, but what are we actually producing for society? You know, we're obviously developing the blockchain, but there's not a whole lot. Like when it comes to Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency really being used as a transaction, they consume more power than just a Visa transaction. Like they're not innovating in anything that matters as far as efficiency and optimal amounts of power draw, and everything that's concerned on the green side of things is concerned. They're just not. I mean, it's 1600 watts to run a freaking S9. I know it's not that much, but it's like, it's over 1000 watts to run an S9. If you have a 35% power reduction, you're running off of 650 watts. Quick math messed up right there. So you have 650 watts to do the same amount of hashing, which means that the difficulty isn't going to go up. You're not going to see less Bitcoin coming out, but what it's going to do is it's going to allow for people to have, one, lower energy bills so that they can afford more ASICs, but then two, it's also going to reduce the overall power consumption of the worldwide output of cryptocurrency energy, because like basically all we're doing is distributed computing, and like unlike with something like folding at home or SETI, like there's no scientific research that's really behind it. I mean, there's the general idea, there's the proof of concept of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency and the blockchain, like all of that is proof of concept, but it's not, I mean, that's the point. There's no institutionalized setup that takes all of the processing that we're doing and then makes it so that it's like usable to like in a good way. That makes no sense. I'm so contradicting myself here. The whole point that I'm trying to make is that Bitcoin is not really like it's digital money. That's, if we get down to it, why do we need digital money? Well, because we don't want a centralized institution. That's personal preference. Do we really need it? Is that, oh man, I'm getting off topic here. These are not the points that I intended to make when I was reading this article. The point is, this is a really interesting time that's coming up in the Bitcoin mining scene, but this is good news for gamers who would want to actually be able to purchase graphics cards. Sure, Intel isn't making graphics cards, although they're partnering with AMD to get their, APUs together, but they're not making graphics cards. But what they are doing, if this actually comes to light, I mean, they just got the patent, so we could see if there's any type of development that comes on in future. Like, we don't know what they're planning on doing right now, because this is as much information as we have, is that there's a patent that's been filed on behalf, which means they've actually spent the time and energy and resources looking into how to do this, and I would presume with how much resources that have gone into it and how much resources they can get out of it if they actually sell an ASIC miner, that they're going to develop this at some point. As much as ASICs aren't what cryptocurrency people want for a lot of their currencies, because they don't want a centralized global power, I mean, that's basically the current issue with Bitmain, and why people are advocating for other companies to come in and make ASICs, is because it centralizes all of the processing power. The processing power is what's supposed to decentralize the currency itself. When Bitmain controls over a majority of the percentage of processing power when it comes to mining Bitcoin, that means that they're basically a server for Bitcoin and not a decentralized network for Bitcoin. And that's one of the things that, like this should make a lot of people happy if Intel actually gets into the game, because that means we're also getting Samsung in the game, we're gonna get Intel into the ASIC game, we'll have Bitmain, we'll have Baikal, we'll have a few others. There's gonna be a lot more players in the crypto mining industry, which will allow for more decentralization of Bitcoin, which will give us better, like that achieves the original purpose of what it's supposed to be, is a decentralized currency. But then also gamers, this is the whole point I've been trying to make, and I keep running myself out on a rabbit trail somewhere else. ASICs don't usurp the purpose of GPUs. ASICs help make sure that GPUs can't actually be used for cryptocurrency mining anymore. So if we want somebody getting in on the space, Intel should be a good one. I mean, if all of our favorite GPU, or if all of our favorite tech manufacturers started making ASICs, it would be happier days for a lot of people. But yes, that's the news. There is hope that Intel is getting the skin in the ASIC game. Well, I mean, basically, at one point, Bitcoin was able to be mined by graphics cards. But then when ASICs came out, it made it basically impossible. Like, you're not going to earn anything from using a graphics card to mine Bitcoin, which is why we're mining altcoins. So as soon as ASICs get into it, it's a good thing for a lot of people. It's not necessarily a good thing for centralization, but if there's plenty of different ASIC manufacturers and plenty of different people buying ASICs, if ASICs become more prevalent like graphics cards are, if we can find ASICs that actually work in the way that graphics cards do, where they're cheap, they're effective, they're power efficient, like they can fit in your home and not actually inhibit your daily life, like graphics cards are just like in your computer case. If that can happen, that can help for the decentralization of a whole lot of things, which is probably, I'm sure there's more arguments to wanting ASIC resistance on a currency besides just the fact that there's only one ASIC manufacturer. If there was a dozen or 15 dozen, that would help to alleviate some of the concern, but I'm sure there's other things there. Anyways, that's the news that we have. Intel may be getting into the ASIC game, which is, I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm down for it. What do you all think though? Would you be looking forward to an Intel ASIC? Would you want to see more people get into the ASIC game, or do you want ASICs to stop doing this because they just basically create difficulties so that you can't keep mining on your current hardware? I want to hear what you have to say either down in our community Discord, top link in the video description, or down in the comments. Be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech related content. I'm Brett with the UFD Tech channel, traveling throughout the United States, which is why you guys are getting opinion pieces in bathrooms. I mean, what else do you want me to do? Like, I'm driving for 8 hours a day. Like, I love you guys. I want to bring you content. I want to have discussions. I want to stay informed. And this is the best way to do it, is to document what I'm currently researching, the things that are piquing my interest, and then have a discussion about it. So that's what these videos serve to do. Anyways, that's what life is. And I've explained this before, but people are just like, why are you just talking about things? Because like, oh, that's the toilet, by the way. Because like, that's authentic. Like, these are the things I'm learning about, and if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be getting videos out. And so this is what I'm doing. This is how we're getting videos out. This is how we're continuing the discussion between you and me, and I can stay in your lives, you can stay in mine. It's all good. It's all good. I love you guys. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.